here too. This was the Renz Auditorium.
Jim, do you want to take well, I guess I'll give the broad overview of the JRS and how it applies, and you can tell a little bit about the building. And then what I thought I'd do is just quickly kind of tie in what else is going on downtown, since we're not going to tour anything else. But the JRS project, that you don't know, is a 75,000 square foot project for the third, fourth, and fifth floors of this building. It's a $10 million project. We did receive the full $5 million for the JRS project. The handout that I gave you kind of gives you an outline of that. We finalized the grant award. It was executed in March. Jim can talk a little bit about development financing and how that obviously tightened up across the country. So it was difficult getting some of that financing in place, but Jim's secured some of that financing. We can talk about the development timeline as well. But the building, as you know, will need to meet the LEED certification standards. That drives a tremendous amount of cost, especially when you're talking about a turn-of-the-century building like this. It was built in 1903, I think was the second.
1890, yeah, 1903 this part.
1903, so you've got these old window openings and things that we're now going to try and make it energy efficient. So that's kind of matched Victor Lim, I think, too, as Jim's construction manager. For the most part, that's it. Let you talk about the Bushnell building, a little bit of the history of it.
Super. I won't go into a whole lot of detail. The packages I had have about a 5-page summary of the history. You know, the Wright brothers patent lawyer was here and so forth, and all kinds of cool stuff. In terms of the rehab we're doing, which is to make it, part of the grant is, we have, $5 million from the Ohio Department of Development. Nikki and I have already put $5 million into the building as of now, which we've spent. We are borrowing basically another $5 million to put into it, so it'll end up being at least a $15 million project. It may exceed that because I want to make it platinum LEED certified as opposed to silver LEED certified, and you heard it here first. I'm going to get that done, okay? It may put me in chapter 11. It may put me in chapter 11, but by golly, we're going to do it.
Don't step off the edge.
Don't step off the edge because the whole project is dead. West Banco next door was the only bank willing to finance it. We put a first mortgage on for $3.5 million. And then I had to also pledge a credit life tower across the street for that and sign personally. That's the nature of financing these days, which is why the banks are and I don't blame them, what's coming out of Washington. They go nuts on what they need for collateral these days and so forth. So basically that was not good, but we're going to get it done. The building itself was an office building, okay? Built by Bushnell 1893 as an office building. This was the premier office building. We are restoring it from a department store, which was basically closed for 12 years. Not quite 12 years, but it was closed for a lot of years before we redid it again. 100% empty. We had 8 feet of water in the basement at one corner. So, and she will testify the basement now looks spectacular, and basically in terms of a banquet center down there and a fitness center and so forth. So a lot of amenities for the people that want to come in here. We are working very hard to create the space for a technology type of use. The wraparound windows, the high ceilings, I think, lend themselves to that. We will eventually replace all the windows. We had a window company doing that. We may actually custom make windows on site. CNN actually custom make the windows with e-glass and basically with argon gas in the middle to get a rating. We are going to put 4 inches of insulation, which is what we did on the census space, on every wall, and so we have more insulation to try to get an energy rating. We'll have a foot of insulation and the rafters up on the roof. Basically, we're going to insulate it like crazy to make sure that we get a LEED certification. We're looking at the photovoltaic for the roof. We're looking at a green roof. We're doing it driving Matthew crazy, and so we've had the HEPE Engineering out of Dayton's doing a great job, a marvelous job on that. They got like 40 LEED AP certified guys. CNN Industrial Contractors here in town, Plato, who has that, is also LEED AP. Matthew Rado here he's been working on the space even before he worked for me because he did the census work working for an air conditioning company down there on the 2nd floor, which is where that fitness center was down there. Basically, what we want to do is take maximum use of the daylight, okay? It is a dark, lousy, miserable day, about as miserable a day as you normally would see in Springfield, Ohio, and you still get a lot of natural light, okay? So we want to use as much daylighting as possible, make it so the individual employee feels like they can look outside, so they're not working in a cave, even if they have a cubicle, they're having nice space. All the interior walls here, that wall there can come out, all this can come out. I didn't take it out because I didn't know what the use of the would be for a prospective technology type of tenant. We want to make them as happy as possible. The technology companies tell us that they got to make the employees happy, and they do crazy things to make employees happy, okay? So, and I make my staff happy. Like I go to Lisa, I bring her back a double strawberry milkshake. She's a happy camper. We have 2 fitness centers, one downstairs in the basement, which we can show you, the one that you also saw. We have, you can do anything in terms of a spa if you had employees on their hours, whatever, that lends itself. Just lots of cool uses inside the building. We think the census space, you know, when people see, we have 9,200 square feet, we remodeled there. When they see what we're doing there, they can think, this is where I want to have a business right in the downtown. We've got, and you'll see from the 3rd floor, we'll go down one step here, we have a marble staircase going here with wrought iron. You'll see on the 3rd floor, you know, that comes directly off the top of the garage. So you got to basically, your distance from your car is basically about 20 feet, okay? So basically that lends itself to it. We have tremendous capabilities in terms of, we've already got wireless here in downtown Springfield, basically thanks to Tom's efforts. So you can have your computer and be getting free wireless from near any place in the building. And then, of course, we have all the wireless, you know, the computer companies here, so forth. We have a forest of cell towers on top of the Credit Life building, so we've got real good cell reception, except in the basement. The building is very well constructed, so in the basement you don't get very good cell reception, but basically the other places you can. We're trying to make it livable, and it's something that you could tell somebody in California, and basically when you get somebody that comes and contacts you about something in California, they're looking about another site, to have, you know, a remote site from where they are in Silicon Valley, you can say, we have a Platinum League certified building in downtown Springfield that's on the National Historic Register, and everything's approved by the National Park Service, the Iowa Historical Society. And it's comfortable space. It has to be comfortable space. The guys in Heapy Engineering, they're going to be so comfortable, and they're actually bragging about it. The census folks that are here, they're not here today, but the ones that are running the space that took over a couple weeks ago, are actually bragging about this space, how much better it is than Cincinnati has, or Columbus has, or Cleveland has. And the folks that did the lights down there, Hall of Fame, you know, designed those for that space, and they're going to be featuring it on their advertising nationwide, you know, the lighting system that they put in there. We're basically sparing no expense in terms of viral dollars to try to do what we can as far as being a builder. So I could talk for hours about this building.